The RMS Titanic, the largest ship in the world at the time of her entry into service on April 2, 1912, sank in the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15, 1912. But what led to this tragic event? The Titanic was on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England, to New York City, United States, with over 2,200 people on board. What happened on that fateful night? The Titanic received 7 warnings of sea ice leading up to the night of April 14, but Captain Smith did not reduce the ship's speed despite these warnings. The ship was traveling at a speed of roughly 22 knots when her lookouts sighted the iceberg. What were the consequences of this decision? The ship's lookouts, Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee, were in the crow's nest, 29 meters above the deck, when they spotted an iceberg in Titanic's path at 23:39. Fleet rang the lookout bell 3 times and telephoned the bridge to inform 6th Officer James Moody. What happened next? The impact with the iceberg caused 6 narrow openings in the hull, covering a total area of about 12 to 13 square feet. The damage to the hull was about 10 feet above the bottom of the ship. The ship began to flood immediately, with water pouring in at an estimated rate of 7 long tons per second. What were the chances of survival? The crew used distress rockets and wireless messages to attract rescue vessels. The ship was equipped with only 20 lifeboats, including 4 collapsible lifeboats. The RMS Carpathia arrived about an hour and a half after the sinking and rescued all of the 710 survivors by 9:15 on April 15. What was the fate of the passengers and crew? The sinking of the Titanic resulted in the deaths of up to 1,635 people. The tragedy led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations. What lessons were learned from this disaster? The Titanic's maiden voyage began on April 10, 1912 when she left Southampton. The ship called at Cherbourg Harbor in northwestern France, a journey of 80 nautical miles. What was the atmosphere like on board during the voyage? The Titanic reached Queenstown in Ireland around midday on April 11. The ship departed westwards across the Atlantic with 892 crew members and 1,320 passengers. What were the expectations of the passengers and crew? A fire had begun in one of the Titanic's coal bins approximately 10 days before the ship's departure. The fire was extinguished on April 13. What impact did this have on the ship's safety? The ice conditions in the North Atlantic were the worst of any April in the previous 50 years. The SS La Touraine sent an ice warning message on April 12 at 1746. What were the warnings like? The RMS Caronia sent an ice report on April 14 at 9:12. The SS Nordam reported much ice to the Caronia, which was forwarded to the Titanic at 10:28. What was the response to these warnings? The Titanic's wireless operators received 7 messages from other ships warning of drifting ice. The German ship SS America reported she had passed 2 large icebergs at 13:49. What were the consequences of these warnings? The Titanic's high speed in waters where ice had been reported was later criticized as reckless. The ship was designed to stay afloat with up to 4 of her forward compartments flooded. What were the design flaws of the Titanic?